Hello Pisces, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self to ultimately create the life that you desire and deserve? As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have the tarot deck I'll be using, the clarification deck, and the advice deck that I'll be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Pisces, let's jump on in. In your recent past, you have courage with the Tower. Something in your recent past, something required you to really put yourself out there, like to have a lot of courage, to really trust in yourself, to really trust the process. And I feel like you did that. And then I feel like you were met with the Tower. And I feel like, that can really shake you when you're like, man, I thought, I was putting my faith in myself. I was putting my faith in the universe. I was really trying to make something happen. And then this is what, kind of happened. Because the Tower is this feeling of things kind of falling apart, or just in general, like a very negatively emotionally charged event. And I feel like you're still kind of dealing with the self-doubt that you have kind of attained because of this. Because again, when you trust yourself, and things don't work out, you're going to doubt yourself, right? Because you're going to be like, well, I trusted myself and it didn't work out, so why would I trust myself again? Now, in your current energy, you have a Nine of Pentacles in reverse with protection. So Spirit wants you to know in your current energy, like your path is very protected. You are very protected on like a spiritual level and also a material level. Because the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, this is this energy of, I'm never going to get to where I want to be. I'm never going to have what it is that I want. My wish fulfillment is never going to happen. I had a chance, I took it, and it didn't work out. Now it's never going to happen. And a lot of times this protection card is that the need to remember that divine redirection, that rejection, is oftentimes protection, meaning that sometimes things don't work out for the better. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that's exactly what's happening here, but I will say in your immediate future, you have embrace uncertainty with the Ten of Pentacles. So this is what you're wanting, right? This Ten of Pentacles, whatever form that is that you're like necessarily desiring, it might depend on your personal situation. This could be financial success. It could be like success in a career field. It could be a certain dream or goal. It could be, finding a healthy, sustainable relationship. Like whatever this Ten of Pentacles is for you, which is like the material manifestation of your desires in a sustainable way. The universe is saying it's still possible. It's still very possible, but it exists in the uncertainty that I feel you're afraid to dip your toes into because of what happened back here. So, and no one can blame you for that. A lot of times we tend to view our future through the lens of our past. We look at our past as almost like a roadmap for our future, but that isn't true. What we've been through is absolutely no indication of where we can go, and what the failures and the losses and the heartbreaks and all of those things that start to feel very like you're like, oh, I'm just destined to experience these things. That doesn't have to be the case. Now, a lot of times people will go through things and they will let it, keep them from believing they can ever experience good again, because life's hard, and when you go through a lot, it's hard to believe that things can ever get better. I feel like this has been such a big theme in readings this round. The overall theme of the reading is the big picture. So, it's really hard when we're looking at things moment by moment to, see the big picture, to look at it from this place of, well, maybe the universe is still supporting me. Maybe I am being guided. Maybe things will work out for me in the end. But that's what Spirit is asking you to do, is to try to zoom out your perspective and look at it from this like, almost like, how do I say that? Like 30,000 foot view. You know, when you're in the middle of something, you can only see what's directly around you. But when you zoom out and you look at the bigger perspective, you see like maybe a whole picture that you weren't able to see before. And I feel like it's kind of what Spirit, like I said, is asking you to do about your specific situation. Just because things didn't work out in the past doesn't mean they can't work out now or as you progress forward. So interesting. Let's dive in. Let's see what we have going on here, Pisces. Courage with the Tower. This is for Pisces past energy. More. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Lovers in reverse. Page of Cups in reverse. Ace of Swords in reverse. I'm like, are these? Yeah, no, they're definitely supposed to be reversed. Okay. The Lovers in reverse is this energy of a situation, a thing, maybe even an outcome that you desired, not aligning with your value or your worth. Meaning that whatever it is that you had in mind, whatever you were trying to create, wherever you were trying to go, it didn't, whatever it was, it didn't align with what you were truly deserving of. Like you were deserving of more than what some situation was able to provide you at the time. But this Page of Cups in reverse and the Ace of Swords in reverse is this energy of, again, kind of not seeing things clearly because, well, you're a human being having human experiences, right? It'd be really cool if we could always see things from Spirit's perspective, but unfortunately we cannot. And the Page of Cups in reverse can also be this energy of, like, not seeing the signs or not understanding the reason at the time, but like will understand it later on. And I think that that's why you have this embrace uncertainty with the Ten of Pentacles, is like maybe things end up working out even better than you thought. All right. Past energy for Pisces. Oh my gosh. Two of Wands in reverse. Page of Swords. It's hard because I feel like you were really excited about this path. Because, yeah, the Seven of Pentacles, Page of Swords, like really excited about it. Really willing to commit to it too. Put a lot into it. But then you have this Two of Wands in reverse. It's almost like what you were desiring and the path that you were on didn't line up. Now, what I mean by that is, like, say what you're desiring is a relationship with someone who loves you unconditionally just as you love them, who feels like you're in a relationship with the perfect person for you, but you're pursuing a relationship that you're wanting this desire from, but yet the path, like the relationship itself, isn't capable of providing with the desire. Or like same kind of thing could go for like a job. Like you're looking for a certain level of success, a certain level of like getting to a certain place financially, but this path that you were on didn't have the ability to provide you with that. So the outcome that you were looking for, the success, the financial freedom, the relationship, the love, that's still very possible. That with the Ten of Pentacles here, that still very much exists in front of you. It just feels like it's hard for you to see past what you've been through, which makes a ton of sense. But I feel like as you progress, you're going to start to understand the path from this bigger picture perspective. All right. Pisces past energy. Justice in reverse. You have the Four of Swords. You know, seeing all these reverse cards, it's almost like, yeah, because there's the Tower. it's almost like there was, it's like all this energy is available for you. What it is that you desire, get, because this justice in reverse is this energy of like, very much just getting the short end of the stick, like feeling a little bit screwed over, like a lack of justice. And like with all these reverse cards, it's almost like whatever situation that this was actually lacking more of what it is you desired than it like had. It's like there was this energy is available for you, but there was a lack of it. A lack of what you deserve. A lack of feeling in alignment. A lack of justice. A lack of balance. I also feel like this situation was very karmic. Now, all karmic situations are. They're not a punishment. It's not... it can feel like it, but it's not. It's a way for the universe to say there's something that needs to be learned from this so that you can get to a better place in your life. Our soul is here to learn and to grow and to evolve. And if it was just snap of the fingers, easy for us to just get whatever it is that we desired, if we didn't have to go through anything to get to the other side, like there wouldn't be a point. You wouldn't feel proud about your accomplishments. You wouldn't grow. You wouldn't evolve. Like there wouldn't be a meaning, right? So sometimes when we're willing to look at what we've been through as not the destination, because sometimes when we go through really hard things, it can feel like a destination. When things fall apart, we're like, oh, that's it. I'm alone forever. That's it. I'm going to struggle forever. That's it. But life is really this up and down of like things going well and things not going well, and things going well and things not going well. But it's all it's think of it like this. It's like, yes, it's moving up and down, but it's to improve your life overall. It's like overall there is supposed to be this overarching like positive evolution of our life, only if you're willing to learn from every time things are bad. Because if you learn every time things are bad, you get to move a little bit higher. And then things are going to go wrong or not work out, but then you're going to learn from that. And then it's going to take a dip and you're going to learn from that. And it's literally just part of like the process of growing, of evolving, of learning, of getting like enlightening, I guess. I don't like throwing that word around, but still, I feel like there's a purpose for everything you're going through, a deeper spiritual backed purpose, which is why you have this bigger picture. It's almost like look at this. Like I look at this as like you have spirit kind of like looking at like you're on earth, right? You can only see things like through the lens of being on earth, but then you have this spiritual being looking down at all of it, and it's like there's so much more to the story, right? And I feel like that's kind of what it is. I also like to kind of think of this as you. It's kind of, I don't know, this has Pisces energy to me. It's like your higher self, or like the best version of you. It's like all of this is happening to get you to this place, which can be really hard to understand in the moment. Going through, for me, some of the worst things I ever did, in the midst of it, it's there's no way you're sitting there going, this is happening for me, not to me, right? Like it doesn't feel like that. And honestly, it's not really supposed to feel like that. But as long as you kind of continue to move forward with faith and belief that things can get better, like they always do. It always gets better. This too shall pass is such a very real thing. But sometimes it can feel like it never will. And especially because, like I said, this took courage. Like, I feel like you really put yourself out there. Like, you really put a lot into this. You really invested, and then things didn't work out, which is going to make you go, that must mean they never work out. Or, like, it's going to make it hard for you to trust yourself as you move forward. Current energy for Pisces, protection with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Current energy for Pisces, please. There you are. That's so bright. Yeah, okay. King of Cups, Nine of Cups in reverse. We've got some negative expectations about the future, Pisces. This King of Cups can represent your energy, whether you're male or female. It doesn't matter. We all have masculine and feminine energies within us. I feel like this is really just about like when you think masculine versus feminine energies, masculine energy is kind of really about how you show up, what you put out. Feminine energy is about the energy of receiving, of being open. And I feel like it's like you're really doubting your movements, you're doubting yourself, you're doubting your choices. And I feel like a lot of that stems from this, because there's a lot of like this Nine of Cups in reverse, a lot of negative expectation about where you're headed. It's almost like you think because things didn't work out back here, that must mean they never will, or things will never be as good as they could have been if things would have worked out the way you wanted. So it's almost like you feel like things can never be as good as they could have been, or things will never be good again. And Spirit wants you to know that isn't true. Your path is very protected. You are very protected. There's a deeper purpose for all of this. I just think that, like, you won't know it till you get there, right? Like, we never, hindsight's 20/20 kind of thing, right? You get to where you're going, you look back and you go, oh yeah, that makes sense. Because if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be here. And if I didn't grow, then I wouldn't have this. And, but we can't, it's so hard to understand when you're still in the middle of a journey, which is what this is about. So many reverse cards. It's kind of crazy. Okay, current energy for Pisces. Five of Wands. Inner resistance. Two of Cups, Five of Wands. This is kind of a complicated message to present. Is there any kind of clearer way I can do that? Nine of Swords. Okay. Magician in reverse with the Nine of Swords, and then there's the Page of Cups upright. You know what's really interesting is we as humans have a tendency to prefer survival mode, the stress, the lack of love, the struggles that we're used to, than we are comfortable with the success, love, financial stability that we desire. And what it boils down to is that we ultimately prefer a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. Your ego, call it your nervous system, it prefers to stay in places where it can predict. And it prefers to repeat like negative experiences, whether it's like in relationships or in financial situations, like whatever the case is, because it knows exactly how that's going to play out. Now, all this is happening subconsciously. Remember, 95% of our life, of the way we interact and our reality is actually happening subconsciously. 5% of the way we interact with our reality. It's actually 5 to 10%. It's like 90 to 95 and then 5 to 10% of the way we interact with our reality is conscious level thinking, psychology shows or suggests. And it's really interesting because, we might be like, no, I want to have the love I deserve. I want this success. I want to have my own business, like whatever the case is. But like, there's this part of you that is more afraid of the unknown associated with it, that you will actually be working against yourself trying to obtain those things. Because, and that's why one of the things it's really hard for me to explain, and that's what I kind of was getting out with this message, is there's so much to being a human. It's so incredibly complex, right? Like, we have our thoughts and we have our emotions, and none of that is really who we are. We are consciousness, or, we're not really who our ego tells us we are. Like, there's so much to being a human. And so we don't realize that on like a conscious logical level, we're like, no, I want this. Like, I desire things to be easier. I desire happiness. I desire fulfillment. But that part of you is actively working against or trying to move toward while being worked against by the part of you that is afraid of the unknown, that is afraid of failure, that is afraid of experiencing different than what you're used to. Now, when people are like, you kind of talk about awake versus not awake, or, you know, on a spiritual journey versus not, like, the people who like aren't awake yet, haven't had a spiritual awakening, aren't able to see things through that bigger picture lens, are acting from that reactive subconscious place. Because spiritual awakening, a big part of that is about making what's subconscious conscious. It's about diving into why you do the things you do, how you work, how you tick, where that stems from, all those things, right? I told you this was a complicated message. Please stick with me. So, you know, you have these desires in this life, right? To get to where you want to go. But you also have these experiences of what you've been through. Failed relationships, you have your trauma, you have your struggles. That, the way that you've experienced life, it gets stored within you. It gets stored in the way that you believe in yourself. It becomes how lovable you think you are. It becomes how much you believe that you're capable, worthy, all those things. And again, on the surface, you might go, no, I want these things. But subconsciously, you're going, but I can't have them. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not lovable. And look at all of this proof I have to show that, looking at your past experiences. So right now, you kind of, it's about recognizing this. It's like the war within, if that's what you want to call it. It's like you have this part of you that desires more for yourself. But then you have this part of you that absolutely doesn't think that that's possible, that ultimately doesn't even want it because it's different than what it's experienced, and it prefers to stay in the familiar. Which is why the 10 of Pentacles that you desire, whatever this outcome is, lives in the uncertainty. That's why you have embraced uncertainty to get there. So again, I feel like what you don't realize is that, you know, a lot of times it's like, oh, the world is out to get me and there are so many obstacles and blah, blah, blah. A lot of that really is just the manifestation of your self-doubt, the manifestation of the fact that you don't believe you're worthy and don't believe you're deserving. For the longest time, you know, when I first started my spiritual journey, I was like, oh, I believe I'm worthy. I believe I'm deserving. Like, look at all these wonderful things about me. But then as I started moving toward it, moving closer to myself and covering, because it's like peeling back a layer, the layers of an onion, I started realizing, oh my gosh, I don't really like myself at all. I don't really think that I'm worthy of deserving of anything, which is why my life has consistently reflected less than what it is that I deserve, because your life is a reflection of what you believe you're deserving of. So if you're not living the life you desire, it's because part of you doesn't believe you're worthy of it, doesn't believe you're good enough for it. So all of that to say, right now, it's almost like, because of what you've been through, right? You're having a hard time believing that things can get better on like a deeper level. And although you might be trying to push toward better, there's like a part of you that's working against you, which is where shadow work comes in. It's bringing that part of you to the light and saying, okay, show me yourself. What are you afraid of? Where does that stem from? What do I need to know about you? And that's where you start to heal the parts of yourself that don't think that you can have more than what it is that you have experienced and are experiencing right now. That was a really lengthy, very complicated message. I hope some of you guys are still with me. All right. What does Pisces need to know about their current energy? I want the card turned all the way around or hit the table. What does Pisces need to know about their current energy? It's the baggage. It's this baggage you've been carrying. That's what's blocking you from the opportunities you deserve. It's almost like, and I know we're talking a lot about the past in your current energy, but I feel like in your current energy, there's so much belief about the past that is existing within it. You are not what has happened to you. You are not what you've been through. You are not destined to experience what you have. You are whoever you decide to become. Right now, in this moment, you can choose. You can say, I am someone who is in a relationship with the perfect person for me. I'm financially free. I'm living a life rooted in passion and gratitude and whatever. You right now get the choice to decide who to become. It's just that right now you're fighting against the part of yourself that has experienced so much not so good stuff. And it believes that that's how things are always going to be, or how life has to be for you. Now, whatever you decide, you're going to be 100% correct. So if you're like, oh, I can never be happy, I can never experience love, I can never have this, I can never have that, break down the law of attraction. What you think about becomes what you believe. What you believe becomes how you act becomes what you create. So if you believe, I can never get there, I can never have this, it'll never get better, that's going to directly affect the reality you experience. So I say all of this to say, if you are not living the life of your dreams, if you are not where you want to be, if you are not experiencing the things you wish to experience, it is because a part of you doesn't believe it's possible. And right now you are being asked to befriend that part of you, to get to know that part of you, to understand that part of you. It's about awakening to the whole of you, right? That's what this whole journey is about. All right, what does Pisces need to know moving forward? Embrace uncertainty with the 10 of Pentacles. Because if you're constantly experiencing pushback in your outer world, because our outer world is a reflection of our inner world, there's something going on within you. All right, what does Pisces need to know moving forward? Seven of Swords. There's the unknown. There's the sun. Sun with the Seven of Swords. The happiness that you desire lives in the unknown. The fulfillment you desire lives in the unknown. You know, a lot of times we have to be willing to look back at what happened to us as a lesson so that as we move forward, we do things differently. We come from a different place. We have more knowledge. We have a deeper understanding of who we are, of how the world works, so you can approach things from a different place. If you don't learn, if you don't grow, if you don't evolve, you're going to approach things like you always have, and you're going to experience the same outcomes. Nothing ever changes if nothing ever changes. So one of the biggest things that I feel like this reading is like if I were to summarize kind of what we've talked about so far, it's that, yeah, maybe you did try and you put a lot into something in the past and it didn't work. But there's a reason for that. This happened for a reason. Uncovering that reason is going to give you insight on how to do things differently as you move forward. But the problem is you're afraid to, we talked about all of that, right? There's a part of you that's resisting the unknown because you're afraid of this. You're afraid of the past repeating itself. You're afraid of things falling apart. You're afraid of things not working out. You're afraid of failure. You're afraid of this, which is keeping you from embracing the possibility of what could happen. Now, again, your ego is actually comfortable with that. Your ego wants to stay in the lack and the loss and all the things that you're used to. So, again, very complex, right? But the first step to any change is the awareness of it, right? Again, the best thing I ever did for myself. And I talk about this a lot in my readings because I think that it is really the only path to growth and creating better for ourselves is figuring myself out, understanding why I was the way I was. Because I only ever experienced failed relationships. I only ever experienced financial struggles like my whole life until I finally said, okay, what is this saying about me? You know, what can I uncover? What beliefs do I have about myself? What beliefs do I have about money? What beliefs do I have about love? What beliefs do I have about my worthiness? And when I started to uncover those things and heal the root of them, my life started to change. Things started to progress. But I spent a really, really long time in a victim mentality of thinking that life was just out to get me, that I was just destined to be and to experience not so good stuff forever. And that could have I could have taken that path. I could have allowed that to be my life, but I didn't. I chose differently. And I'm very, very lucky that I did. I'm very glad that I did. I'm very, I believe that a lot of that has to do with this purpose that I want to, spread this to everyone else to say, like, life can get better. You can have the life you can have your dream life. You can have a life beyond your wildest dreams. But you have to let go of all of the reasons you think you can't have it in order to get there, which it comes with a lot of healing and a lot of facing parts of yourself that you might not even be aware exist. All right, so what else does Pisces need to know moving forward? Because this is so much good. It's like, you saw the sun, we saw the 10 of it. Look at that, Wheel of Fortune. That's exciting. Spirit's trying to turn the wheel in your favor. In fact, I actually feel like this happened so that the wheel could turn in your favor. There's a lesson to be learned. There's something to be seen, something to be acknowledged. And if you're able to do that, if you're willing to do that, then things can get better because your approach is going to be different. Your belief is going to be different. Your mindset's going to be different. But again, if nothing ever changes and we just go about our life repeating the same experiences over and over, then we're never going to get to where we want to be. Tough love coming through today for Pisces, or just not necessarily tough love, because I don't necessarily feel like any of you maybe don't know this. I don't know, maybe this is about understanding things deeper, but at the same time, like giving you this oomph to like be like, go for it, like move forward with faith. Choose the belief that anything's possible. You know, I get all the time, I get people telling me, not all the time, but I do get comments every now and then where people will tell me, oh, you're so naive. You're so young. You're so naive. And I'm used to those comments by now because I understand why someone would think that way. But I know my experience, and I used to be the complete opposite of positive. I used to live in a victim mentality. I used to complain about everything. I used to literally blame everybody around me for my problems. I was always saying, oh, it's this person's fault, or that they did that to me, and this happened, and it was all out of my control and all out of my hands, and I'm just a victim. And I truly believed that for a long time. Now, there were certain situations in my life where I was a victim, certain trauma experiences and things of that nature, but I got to a point in my journey where I was like, none of that is going to determine who I am, because I'm not happy with the life I'm living. And if I want to experience better, as all the spiritual teachers, all the spiritual people say, you got to start within. And so I started to do that. And unfortunately, /fortunately, they were all correct. So that's why I'm so passionate about these messages, is because I've lived it. I've experienced it. And this isn't to add shame to your situation, to say you've done anything wrong at all. Because the life that, the trauma you've experienced, the things you've been through, none of that is your fault. But there's a difference between fault and responsibility, right? We go through things that happen to us. We have the ability to either say, this is completely out of my control, nothing good is ever going to happen to me now that this has, or we have the ability to say, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? How can I take this and change my outcome next time? And if you're willing to approach your life from that perspective, things get really good. So I don't know if this is about like believing in yourself again after things have fallen apart. Like, there's so much to this reading, but I just really feel like ultimately it's understanding that I really feel like the best is yet to come for you. I feel like the good that you desire, it doesn't live in the past, but that your belief in that is going to directly determine your ability to create it. All right, one more. What does Pisces need to know moving forward? 7 of Wands. Right? Oh, yeah. Because this is self-doubt. This is about overcoming self-doubt. I've learned a lot about self-doubt on this journey, a lot. And the biggest thing I've learned is that it never really goes away. You never really stop doubting yourself. You never really stop questioning your decisions. It never really it's not like you wake up one day and you're like, I have 100% confidence in myself and I know that I'm making the right decisions at all. That's not how it works. But you stop believing it so much because your feelings of, I'm deserving, I'm supported, I'm capable, I know that I have value, like those become stronger than the doubt. And it's kind of like, you hear that, it's like you have two wolves inside of you, right? Like, which one are you going to feed? It's like you either have the wolf that is self-doubt and fear and you can never do this and you're not good enough and look at how much better all these people who succeed are than you, like you can't be like them. Or you can feed the wolf that's saying, you're loved, you're supported, you're capable, you're protected. The universe has your back. There's so much more ahead of you than there is behind you. And literally, whichever one you choose to give more of your energy to through the ways that you speak to and about yourself, through the media that you consume, through just the way that you show up in your day-to-day experience, like that is going to be the life that you create. So I feel like this is a reading for a collective. It's a very split collective. Because I feel like that's why it's been kind of back and forth a little bit, is because I feel like I'm speaking to a collective that has learned from their past and just needs a little bit more like confirmation that they're moving forward toward good, or I'm speaking to a collective that like is really struggling to move past their experiences, is really struggling to understand why things have happened the way that they are, is struggling to understand those deeper parts of themselves. So whichever one you are, I feel like the message at the end of the day really is like, this is about your belief, your faith in the universe, your faith in yourself, your faith in the good that this world has to offer, being stronger than your self-doubt. Because you have a lot of reasons to doubt. Okay? We all do. You have a lot of reasons to doubt yourself. You have a lot of reasons to doubt the universe. You probably have a lifetime of proof as to all the reasons why you should doubt, right? but you don't want to let that determine your life. You don't want to let that determine who you become. You don't want that to let that determine the experience that you have from this point forward. And that decision is up to you. I can't do it for you. Your parents can't do it for you. Nobody can make the decision to believe in you and actually get to experience the outcome of that, except for you. And I think that that's where, it's hard, because your first instinct is probably like, well, why would I? Well, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? You have so much more to look forward to than you have to like the best is yet to come. That's what this feels like. But your belief in that is going to directly affect your ability to create it, like on the realist level. So, all right, Pisces, thank you so much as always. I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to look at, so this is what you need to know. The extended is what you can do right now to ensure you're moving forward in alignment with your higher self. And then I have an advice card to pull from your spiritual team at the very end. Obviously, I hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Pisces, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Pisces.